show you the optimal way of playing with 4 fingers in order to become a better player on the battlegrounds. But first, make sure you like the video and subscribe so you don't miss my future guides on this channel. Let's begin. 4-finger controls are incredibly efficient when pressing multiple buttons because you can use your index fingers to aim and shoot while your thumbs will be free to press other buttons. Now, let's see my controls. These are the controls I use. As you can see, I've extensively customized them. However, the fundamentals of 4-finger claw are still present. For now, we'll focus on this section. I'll leave the purpose of the rest of the personal controls for another video. Now, start by modifying these settings. Move your fire and aim buttons to the upper side of the screen. Remember to use the left side fire button since this one does not control the camera movement. You can hide the other button or continue to use it with your thumb for easy tap fire, but do not mix the fire buttons. I'll explain why later. Remember that the top aim and fire button positions are interchangeable. It doesn't matter if you shoot with the right or left. The important thing is that you start pressing these buttons with your index fingers. Now, practice in the training grounds. You can enter through the cheer park like this. Practice these exercises in order. When you feel comfortable with the first one, move on to the next until you master all of them. Exercise number 1. Exercise number 2. Exercise number 3. Exercise number 4. Exercise number 5. Phones are generally not used in this position, so the base of your index fingers will feel uncomfortable. Don't worry about this. Your hand is just stretching in order to get used to this new grip. Although, if you feel your phone slipping off, just hold the lower part with your pinky fingers. Also, avoid pressing your phone with your palms as this limits the movement of your index fingers. Once you're comfortable with this mechanic, it's time to practice leaning. You have 2 options, basic leaning and advanced leaning. What's basic leaning? It's the most commonly used type of leaning. It requires these settings. Its most fundamental aspect is the link between aiming and leaning. You don't have to aim separately. When you press lean, you automatically aim, all with a single button. It's simple and efficient, perfect for a beginner. Here are 5 training drills. Exercise number 1. Exercise number 2. Exercise number 3. Exercise number 4. Exercise number 5. What's advanced leaning? This is the most flexible and practical type of leaning. It requires these settings. Its most fundamental aspect is how aiming is not linked to the lean button. This means that when you lean, you will not aim automatically. You'll have to do it separately. This has several benefits, but the most important one is that you can now lean left and right with no interruption. You can also lean repeatedly without releasing your aim. Here are 5 training drills. Exercise number 1. Exercise number 2. Exercise number 3. Exercise number 4. Exercise number 5. Optimal sensitivity. Here's the sensitivity that I currently use. I suggest you avoid copying it. Instead, I'll tell you the most important tips when modifying your own personal sensitivity. Tip number 1. If you're using the gyroscope, adjust your camera sensitivity by prioritizing large and sudden movements. Accuracy will be managed by the rotation of your cell phone, so you don't have to worry about that. Tip number 2. For close-range combat, make sure you keep the same sensitivity in all general camera settings. Tip number 3. For the gyroscope sensitivity settings, I suggest you set all of them to 400% except for the scope you're going to use for snipers. I personally use the 4x scope for tapping and spraying, so I set it to 200% to balance its use between control and precision. Tips and advice. Tip number 1. Never link the fire buttons like this. This is a fairly common mistake because one of the fire buttons controls the camera movement. This could mess up your focus when shooting. This is because when playing with 4 fingers, the camera is controlled with the thumb, not the index finger, so avoid assigning any camera control to your index fingers. I suggest you use the button that does not control the camera and just hide the other one. Alternatively, you can use it to tap fire with your thumb until you get used to that with your index finger. Tip number 2. If you've already gotten used to your controls, lower the transparency. Button visibility can often be an obstruction to your field of view when searching for enemies, especially if you have increased your button size. Tip number 3. To lean diagonally with advanced settings, you can press these 3 buttons at the same time. Your right index finger will press the crouch button. Your left index finger will hold the aim button. Your thumb will hold the lean button. To use this technique, you'll have to assign the fire button to your right index finger. This finger will press the crouch button only once and will then get ready to shoot. Here's a demonstration. Alternatively, you can lean diagonally by assigning two functions to the thumb. First, press the crouch button and then the lean button. Note that this technique is less fluid, but it gives you the freedom to assign the fire button to your left index finger. Here's a demonstration. Tip number 4. When you get used to your controls, you can assign more responsibilities to the index fingers. You can also modify the rest of your controls and adapt them to your new way of playing. Generally, playing with 4 fingers will help you react faster and be more fluid in PUBG Mobile. I hope you liked the video, and if it helped you, don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. Remember, we are all noobs in the beginning, so I wish you good luck in the battlegrounds, and I'll see you in the next video.